Good morning, y'all. Welcome to another video on the Luderco Arms channel. So it's morning and it is going to be hot today. Probably over 100 with the heat index and definitely high 90s by itself. So what we've got today is this box right here. So my weed eater died. Now the one I had was a steel, and it was I've had that thing somewhere between 15 and 20 years. It's old, and it had been a very good weed eater. It was a 2-cycle, one of the, it wasn't like a commercial one, but it was a good weed eater. And you know, 15-20 years out of a 2-cycle engine is pretty good. But it finally burned a valve. It'll start up, and if you hold it wide open throttle, it'll kind of run, but not fast enough to really do any weed eating. And the cost of a new head for it is, and by head I mean the head on the engine with the valves in it, not the trimmer head, it's cost prohibitive when I could get this one for actually less. So what we've got here is a Husqvarna, I think it's a 122 LK. Look at the tag on the bottom of this box here. Yep, 122 LK trimmer. So I bought this because I buy a lot of stuff online because I don't like going to stores. And I've had a 455 Rancher chainsaw forever. Probably 20 years, and it's been the best chainsaw. It beats hell out of the Poulan I had before that. So I figured I would give this weed eater a shot. And so I ordered it off of Amazon, and a thing of weed whacker cord, which I'm sure this probably comes with enough to get started. But so let's open this box and check it out and get it put together and see how it does. And looks like that's taped. Grab a knife. There we go, the box is open. Alright, so we see it's in the box. They've got kind of a setup in here. Got a bag of stuff, got another bag of stuff, and the shaft in 2 pieces, looks like. So I'm going to get all these parts unwrapped and laid out here, and we'll see what it takes to get this thing put together and fired up. So let me get all this bubble wrap off of these parts, and I'll be right back. Alright, so once you get all of the bubble wrap off, what you're left with is these components here. So when I ordered this through Amazon, this was supposed to come with one of those, the trimmer heads where you just stick the 18-foot long piece of trimmer line halfway through there, and then click it from the outside, wind it up. Well, it didn't come with that. It came with the regular old tap and go head that you got to take apart and pull the spool out of and wrap the trimmer line around. But I went on my Amazon account, and they're supposed to be sending me the trimmer head tomorrow. It's not the Husqvarna one, it's a different, it's aftermarket. Doesn't matter. this will work for now. I just wanted one of those heads where you don't have to take it all apart and wrap the trimmer line up on it. I've been doing that for years, and I was kind of looking forward to having that fancy head. But that's neither here nor there, and it's certainly not the fault of the trimmer, because that it was one of those deals, you know, the I don't know, if you go on Amazon, you can add a thing to it. It was one of those add-ons. They just forgot to stick it in the box. So that doesn't matter though for putting this together. Comes with this bag with a couple of little tools in it, or a tool. Get this open here. A couple of nuts and bolts and wing nut. Looks like the standard tool you get with a chainsaw, except that on the end of it, it's got a Torx bit. And I noticed most of these bolts on here are Torx. So, let's get this thing slapped together, and then we'll get some gas in it and see how easy it starts up and all that good stuff. It also comes with an instruction booklet and a bunch of warranty paperwork. The instruction booklet's in several different languages, and most of it is the requisite 4 or 5 pages of don't do, you know, warnings and crap. So let's see what we got to do here. You've got the handle, which goes on here, and shouldn't be that hard to put on, because it's got this piece that goes like that underneath here, and then a bolt and a wing nut that go through it. So you'll see that it's got a slot that's cut so that the square-headed bolt will fit down in it. And you just stick the bottom part of the clamp on there, like so, and then put your wing nut on. Sorry, I'm not. Like that. So you got the bottom clamp and the wing nut. That holds that handle on there, and tighten it down, and then loosen it, move it wherever you want it once you get to using it. I think for now that's probably where I'm going to have it. Bear with me, I know I'm not in the screen, but alright. Alright, so we got our handle on. That was pretty simple. And then the other thing we got to put on is the guard on the end of this here. And so that looks like it fits there. And that little screw goes into a threaded hole on here. Put it. I have to pull this. It's got like a piece of rubber on it to hold it in place here. I think we need to pull that out to get enough. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can get this into its. So you'll see it just fits up against this bracket that's already on there, and it's got a hole in it that'll line up with a hole in the plastic piece, and then you stick that little screw down in there and get it started in its threads and tighten it on up with the tool that comes with it. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. So there we go. Now we have our guard on. So this 122 LK trimmer is one of the ones that has the where you can pull this apart to put different attachments on it. So you can see it's got oil and grease all over it. But to put it together, you got to loosen this, which is already loose. And apparently this, you got a arrow here and an arrow here that need to line up. And you just kind of, I guess, stick that up in there. And that, there we go, and it'll click in there. That's this button here. So then you just tighten this wing nut down and you're golden. And then if you were going to put a different attachment on here, like say an edger or something, you would just loosen this wing nut and push this little button down, in theory. Yep, like that, and it comes right apart. So there we go. So we'll get this shoved back up in here again. There we go. And tighten that down. Now for me, I just wanted a weed eater. I'm not that worried about putting attachments on here. Like I said, the reason I ordered the one that would take the attachments is because at the time I ordered it, it was on sale. Alright, so now that that's together, you can look and see if I've got this about where I want it. Yep. Alright. This handle here seems to be a little looser than I would like. It's in the right spot for where I want it. But I wonder if it's supposed to be there. It seems to me probably not going to work like that. Alright, yeah, I think that's how it's supposed to go. see if I can show you this without having to take the handle back off. There's a slot down here. It looks like it would sit there, and it might, but there's a slot down there. I stuck it in there, so now it's a lot tighter. The instructions weren't all that clear on if it was supposed to go in that slot or not, but I like that a little better. This thing's light. It's pretty easy to handle. So let's look at controls. Obviously you got a trigger, your throttle. It's got one of these silly lock things on it, so you got to hold that down to pull the throttle. You got a stop button right here, pretty standard, spring loaded. Up here on the engine, spark plugs here, pull cord. It's where you put the fuel right here in this cap. It's got a retainer like every other two-cycle on the market. Got exhaust over on that side. So here you got your push, your primer, and looks like a, yep, that's the choke right there. You just pull up on it. Pretty sure this is going to be the air filter in here. Yep, looks like an old foam air filter. You'll want to pull that out and clean it every once in a while and re-oil it, but that's all pretty standard stuff. So, yep, let me go grab my can of fuel and we'll put some gas in this thing and see how it does. I'll be right back. Alright, so this 122 LK is two-cycle, so you got to put mixed gas in it, not straight gasoline. You'll burn the motor up if you put straight gas in it. But I got my jug of mixed gas here. See if we can't spill it all over while we fill this thing up. All right. Cap back on. And like with all small engines, no ethanol gas. That goes for your lawnmowers, chainsaws, weed eaters. Man, pay the extra and get the no ethanol gas, because ethanol is absolutely horrid on small engines. Alright, to start this, according to Husqvarna, we got to press the primer bulb 10 times. And it does have fuel going through it. Got to turn the choke on. Pull it a couple of times till it tries to start. Turn the choke back off. And then I may not have done that correctly. I didn't turn the choke all the way. There we go. That was my fault. So once it tries to start, then turn the choke back off. We'll let it warm up for a minute. It seemed to start pretty easy. Shouldn't take too long for it to warm up. Well, we'll see how it does right out here. Well, it trims weeds, runs good. It is a lot quieter than the steel I had, but it cut through that Bahia grass like it's nobody's business, and that is some tough stuff. That's stuff they use on the side of highways and things, and it will bog down pretty much any trimmer if you get in it deep enough. So it did good. I like it. I'm not cutting grass today, so next weekend I'll cut grass, but I don't see why it won't be a good weed eater. And I got that other trimmer head coming. Of course, I'll use the trimmer head that's on it till it runs out of string, and when it does, then I'll put the replacement trimmer head on it that's got the easy loading feature, because that's part of the reason I bought this one, is it came with that. But they, like I said, Amazon, it's not Husqvarna, it's not a Husqvarna head, it's a aftermarket one, and Amazon has dropped the ball on that. So yeah, so far I am impressed. Hopefully it will serve for many years, just like last steel did, and we'll see how it goes. So that is the Husqvarna, and if I'm butchering that name, y'all forgive me. That's how I've always said it. 122 LK straight shaft string trimmer. It was, I think with the tax, it was just a hair over $200, so it wasn't super expensive. And hopefully it'll last a long time. And the reason I buy gas ones and not the battery powered ones, the battery powered ones have come a long way, but I have a tremendous amount of stuff in my yard, between up here at the shop and then down at the house and all the flower beds and everything. I have a tremendous amount of stuff I have to trim around. So my trimmers get a lot of use. And so far they don't have the battery ones to the point where I can do it without running the battery out. I have a battery powered blower, and it it'll barely blow off the sidewalks and the driveway before the battery's going dead on it. So it's gasoline powered for me. It just works better for the amount of trimming I have to do. So hopefully y'all found this useful. I don't know. I needed to put it together and get it ready to cut grass next weekend, so that's why we made a video of it. But I like it so far. I've always had good luck with Husqvarna chainsaws, so I figured this trimmer probably be about the same kind of deal. So appreciate y'all watching, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.